Hey there. Welcome to my podcast. I'm really glad you're here. You know, sometimes the hardest place to feel safe is inside your own mind. There are days when you smile at others but quietly doubt yourself. You get things done, you push through, but there's this quiet voice that says, you're not doing enough. Or worse, you're not enough. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt more judgment than love? Or found it easier to encourage a friend than to speak gently to yourself? If that sounds like you, you're not broken. You're just human, and you're definitely not alone. Today, I want to take you on a slow, honest journey into the heart of self-love. Not the loud kind, not the trendy kind. Just the quiet, steady practice of learning how to live with yourself and actually like who you are. Let's begin. Part 1. The Silent Battle. Loving yourself doesn't begin with a loud declaration. It begins in silence. For a long time, I thought I was just too sensitive. I took things personally. I remembered little mistakes for too long. I kept trying to be more helpful, more perfect, more enough. But what I didn't realize was that I wasn't fighting the world, I was fighting myself. Maybe you know that feeling. The moment you do something well, your brain says, it's not that great. The second you rest, it whispers, you should be doing more. It's like carrying a quiet war inside, and sometimes we get so used to it, we forget it's even there. But here's something I want you to sit with. You cannot heal in a place where you feel unsafe. And when your mind becomes a place of constant self-judgment, it's very hard to grow. So we end up chasing approval, trying harder, fixing our outside life, hoping it will fix the inside. But what if self-love isn't something you find out there? What if it's something you slowly learn to build by changing how you talk to yourself when no one's listening? Let's pause here and breathe. You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to not have it all figured out. And you are allowed to be kind to yourself, even if you don't feel like you deserve it. Because learning to love yourself isn't about waking up one day and suddenly feeling proud of everything. It's about noticing the way you speak to yourself. It's about recognizing how often you say, I'm not good enough, and gently questioning it. You don't have to prove your worth every day. You just have to stop tearing it down. Part 2. The Kindness Gap. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to be kind to someone else? When a friend says, I messed up, we rush to comfort them. It's okay, everyone makes mistakes. You're still a good person. But when we make a mistake, the voice in our head isn't so gentle. I can't believe I did that. What's wrong with me? Why am I always like this? Isn't that strange? We treat others with softness, but treat ourselves like a problem that needs fixing. The truth is, most of us grow up learning how to please others before we ever learn how to care for ourselves. We're taught to be polite, helpful, hardworking, and those are good things. But somewhere along the way, we begin to believe that being kind to ourselves is selfish or lazy, or something we'll earn later when we've finally done everything right. That's not love. That's a bargain. And love should never be a bargain. Here's something I want you to remember. You are not more worthy when you succeed, and you are not less worthy when you fall. Let that sink in. You don't have to do everything perfectly to deserve your own kindness. You don't have to wait until the weekend, until the job is done, or until someone else approves. You can offer yourself compassion now. Sometimes kindness to yourself looks like simple things, like noticing your tiredness and choosing rest, recognizing your sadness and letting yourself cry, admitting that you're struggling and not punishing yourself for it. Let me ask you this. If a small child made a mistake, would you yell at them? Would you say, "You're stupid, you'll never be enough"? Of course not. You'd probably kneel beside them and say, "It's okay, let's try again." So why don't we do that for ourselves? There's a child version of you still inside, still learning, still trying, still healing. Speak to that version of you with kindness. Part 3. Beyond the Mirror. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and smiled? Not because your hair looked good, not because you dressed up, but just because you saw you. For many people, the mirror is not a friend. It becomes a test, a place to measure how good enough we are that day. Too tired, too pale, too round, too thin, too messy, too old. It's like no matter what you see, your mind whispers, "Fix it." But here's the truth, and I want you to take this in gently. You are not your reflection. You are your presence. You are how you sit with a friend in silence. You are the warmth in your voice when you say, "I understand." You are the laugh that escapes when you forget to be perfect. You are the way you keep trying even on hard days. None of those things are visible in a mirror. So why do we put so much weight on the surface? Self-love doesn't live in comparison. It lives in how you treat yourself when no one else is watching. I once read something that stayed with me. When you look in the mirror, if all you see is what's missing, you'll never see what's already there. That hit me. So now I try something different. When I catch myself being critical, I pause and ask, if I loved myself, what would I say right now? Sometimes the answer is soft. You're tired, and that's okay. Sometimes it's stronger. You've carried so much, and you're still standing. And sometimes it's just silence. A break from judgment. A little peace. Your value is not something you earn by looking a certain way. Your value is something you were born with, and nothing can erase it. Part 4. Releasing the past. Let's talk about the weight you might be carrying. Not in your hands, but in your heart. It's the memory of something you said or didn't say, something you did or didn't do, a choice you wish you could take back, a moment that changed how you saw yourself. And every time something goes wrong, that voice comes back. This is who you are. You always mess things up. If you've ever heard that voice, I want you to listen carefully now. You are not your past mistakes. That voice is not truth. It's fear. It's shame wearing the mask of memory. And it's time to take that mask off. Everyone makes mistakes. Even people who seem strong, happy, wise. Even the people you look up to. Think of Oprah Winfrey. Today, she's known around the world, but her early life was filled with pain. She grew up in poverty, faced abuse, made mistakes, got fired from one of her first jobs. But she didn't let those things define her. She said, "This is part of me, but I decide what happens next." That's what healing sounds like, and you have that same power. Let's pause here. Breathe in. Think of a moment you've been holding on to, something you regret. Now, gently ask yourself, is that mistake still happening now, or is it only alive because I keep carrying it? You're allowed to grow beyond it. You're allowed to forgive the version of you who didn't know better. You're allowed to stop punishing yourself for learning slowly. Shame doesn't teach, it traps. It keeps you stuck in a loop, reliving the same hurt, the same label, the same lie. But you are more than one bad choice. You are more than one failure. You are more than one version of yourself. You are allowed to be new. Part 5. Daily Acts of Love. So, what does loving yourself look like in daily life? It might surprise you. Sometimes loving yourself is getting out of bed when it's hard. Other times, it's letting yourself stay in bed because rest is what you truly need. Sometimes it's setting a goal and showing up for it. And sometimes it's forgiving yourself when you fall short. Self-love is not a feeling you chase. It's a relationship you build, day by day, decision by decision. It might mean feeding yourself properly, not just eating what's easy, but asking, what would nourish me today? It can mean talking to yourself like a real friend, catching that harsh voice and gently challenging it. When it feels impossible to say something kind, try saying something neutral. I'm having a hard day, but I'm still here. That's love too. Loving yourself is also protecting your peace, setting boundaries, saying no when you mean no, even if it disappoints someone else. There's nothing selfish about protecting your mental space. And sometimes self-love is allowing joy, letting yourself enjoy a cup of tea without guilt, laughing at a silly video, dancing to a song you love. You don't have to earn these moments. Joy is not a reward, it's a need. Start small. Write a note to yourself. Take a quiet walk. Clean your room. Drink more water. Say something kind in the mirror. Not because those things fix you, but because they remind you you're already worth showing up for. Part 6. Conclusion. If you're still here, thank you. Thank you for giving your time, your attention, and your heart to this moment. Loving yourself isn't a final destination. It's a long, winding road full of pauses, lessons, and soft beginnings. You won't always get it right, but you don't need to. You're growing. You're learning. You're showing up. And that's enough. I hope you remember this. Even when you feel uncertain, you are still becoming. Even when no one sees your progress, it's real. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be to begin again. So take care of yourself. Be gentle. Speak kindly. Rest well. You've done enough for today. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being you. See you next time. Goodbye.